Alright guys, what's up? So I thought I would show you all how to make your own ear savers so you can modify those designs and send them to me if you'd like and have them printed out, but either way it would serve as an artifact for your time capsule. So the first thing you want to do is go to tinkercad.com. Now I'm already signed in, so it's probably going to take me to my dashboard. It's free, so feel free to sign in. I would just use my Google login. I'm pretty sure that's an option. Now I've made a document with all the important links that you'll need. Looks like this. It's called MCMS Ear Saver, and it's got the files that you'll need and some instructions on there as well as some searches you can do in Thingiverse for other ones you might want to alter if you get into this. Okay, that link is bit.ly /MCMS ear saver, all one word and all lowercase. Alright, so you're going to open up this file. Right now it's named something ridiculous. It auto makes your names. I didn't choose this, but we'll change that here in a second. So I'm going to tinker this. I'm going to share. Here's the link to share it. I'm going to share this with you all so you can modify your own. I'm not clear at this point as to whether it would mean you all edit the same thing or if it makes a copy for each of you. But either way, if this doesn't work out, check the bit.ly link and use your own file because I got a separate one saved on there. Alright, so let's tinker it. And as we're logging in, I think the hardest thing for you on Chromebooks, honestly, is going to be manipulating the space. So I've got a mouse, and you can use your right click to kind of view stuff. Right now I'm right clicking and I'm just dragging so I can move it around. That might be a little bit harder, but not impossible on a trackpad. Alright, now if I want to move the whole grid without being wobbly, I can press shift and that will kind of move it up, down, left, right. So if I click shift and then right click, I can move up, down, left, right. If I want to zoom in, I just turn the scroll wheel, move it forward. And I'll put up some of the keyboard commands as well if you'd like to do that. I'm sure there are some. Alright, but let's go ahead and get started. This is the basic ear saver blank. Alright, and what we're going to be doing is putting text into that. What we're trying to do is put something that's encouraging or helpful on there, so when people see that on the back of your neck, they're reminded to be kind or encouraging as opposed to being kind of closed off and isolated, which is how we tend to feel when people have their faces covered up, right? So first step, once you have your ear saver blank in there, is to add your text and just drag it from one side to the next, and then up here in this box it's going to say text. We don't want that. So one of the encouraging things that my third graders came up with for the cafeteria ladies was let us do this together. A joke on the word lettuce. So well, can't type this together. There we go. Alright, that's obviously too big, so we're gonna take one corner, we're gonna press shift to hold the dimensions, and we're gonna drag. Now what I mean by holding the dimensions is if I don't press shift and I just drag, it can do anything it wants to these and make them all kinds of weird. I don't want that. I want it all kind of stay the same. So I'm going to click on that corner and say shift and drag it so they keep their dimensions. I'm going to zoom in a little bit by scrolling in. I'm going to drag this over to my ear saver. It is still too big. I'm going to zoom in some more. And just get really small. Make sure it fits. That's almost too small. Whoop. Alright. So a lot of this is just manipulating and playing with it to get it to look the way you want it to. I like that. That's about right. Okay. Now obviously this isn't going to fit inside, or if I print it, it's going to print separately and not be stuck to the ear saver. You want it to be one thing, right? So you want, here's another one I made. You can see here the letters are stuck to the ear saver, right? And you want that. You don't want it printing by itself because, well, they won't stick. So we're going to push in. I'm just going to drag the top and bottom to fit. Now one thing I've learned is over here on the snap grid, down here in the lower right hand corner, it's at 1 millimeter. So every time it moves a millimeter. But if I change it to 0.1, I can kind of fine tune. All right. And when I'm getting down in here, I want to make sure that it's a little bit embedded into the ear saver. By that I mean right now it's kind of sitting on top of the ear saver, and I don't think that's going to stick together very well. So I'm going to drag this inside the ear saver just a little bit. Right there's good. Now what's going on is it's telling the computer to kind of weld these words to the ear saver. You can kind of see right here it's embedded, it is pushed inside of the ear saver, which means this bottom half is going to be stuck in there, which is good. Now I've got to work on the top half. So I'm going to drag this black dot here and drag it up. And drag it into my design as well. I want it a little bit further up. There's good. Alright, so you can see here on this T, it both has the top and the bottom stuck to the design. Alright, and we want that. Now let's take a look at it. Push back out. Okay, so it's both stuck at the top and the bottom, but right now the computer program's not going to see them as one thing, it sees them as two separate things. So if I were to export this file right now, let's go ahead and export it as an STL. Alright, what it's going to export is what's selected. You can see there's no ear saver on here. It's just the words. So, I'm going to go back and make sure I stick the words to the ear saver. Alright, so if I just click the ear saver, not the words, and I export that, same problem. Now it's just the ear saver. So we want to have both of them stuck together. Alright, so we're going to take the letters, click on them, select them, and then we're going to select the ear saver by pressing Shift as well, so both at the same time. So click on the letters, hold Shift, click on the ear saver, and now both of them are selected, and I'm going to group them together. That's what this is up here. So we're going to group that together, and now the computer's going to see them all as one thing stuck together. Alright, so when I export this, it should export as one file. Alright, so that's how you do that. Now there are some fine-tuning tweaks that you might want to do that I'm going to do here. I'm going to undo these changes so I can edit my letters. Now you can see here my letters stick out a little far. There are two ways that you can print these things. So, I could see some people wanting to print it flush, which means the letters go all the way down to where the line is for the ear saver. Let's make sure it's right on there. There we go. Okay, so it's fully embedded there. So you can do it flush like that. I always do just a little bit above because this allows me to, there we go, right there's good. This allows me to do two color prints. So what I will do essentially on the machine is I'll print out the whole thing in one color, and then I'll have it pause so I can change color filaments, and then I can do the letters different color. So I'll throw up a picture of what that looks like. But for most of us, if you just want to do something simple, the process is taking text in. Just go ahead and delete my text here. Again, take the text in, make the text say whatever you want it to say, and it does help if it's capitalized. Lowercase letters don't show up as well. Resize it to however you need to resize it to get it to fit inside the ear saver. Drag the boxes to get them to where you need them to be, and then shift select to get both of them. So you're selecting the words, shift the ear saver, and then you join them together, and that creates your ear saver. Again, it would be a good idea to modify your letters so they're not so tall. There you go. Boom. Alright, so that's the basic rundown on how to do one of these ear savers. Just send me the file when you're done and I can print it out if it's something that's printable. I might send it back to you and say there's some modifications you need to make. But again, if you're lost at all, be sure to check the MCMS ear saver document by going to bit.ly/MCMS ear saver. Alright, so that's it for now. Let me know if you have any questions.